Hi, my name is Andy Baker, and I'm going to start making some videos. So I got this idea of making videos because I've been seeing a lot of video content out there recently. And it's on TikTok, people are doing Facebook Lives, there's all sorts of stuff on Instagram. YouTube is one of the many places to see video. And I thought, I need to get into that space and I need to get better at that. So this is all an effort to get better at that. To that end, one of my favorite YouTube duos is Trixie Mattel and Katya. There are a couple of drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race season 7. And they're good friends and they're hilarious together, and they have a little video show, and I don't know how to pronounce it. It's linked in the bio. It's linked in the description, And either way, one day I was watching and Katya says something to the effect of, I'm paraphrasing her, but she says, when you start doing something, you look back at the first iterations of that and you just think,
wow, that's terrible.
And her point was that the only way to get better is by doing it. And also, I think one of her points was that when you look back on stuff, you realize how much better you've gotten. And I thought, I just want to start that process. Now, that's not her original thought, and that's not the first time I heard it, but it's what made me think, you know what, Andy? Get your video camera out. It's a phone. Get your camera out, get your lighting out, get everything together and do this thing. It's time to do it. Now, I actually have some experience doing and making videos. First of all, I make videos for school because we're in pandemic times, I do all my videos, all my classes via video. It's a video of me, and then it's a video of me talking over a PowerPoint. I'm clicking through a PowerPoint. It's efficient, I like it, it's well done, I think. And that's one. I also did an audition video. I auditioned for a tiny little part in a Dutch TV series, and I got it, by the way, and I filmed it in The Hague. But I did that, and that was a video, and I had to edit that, and that was interesting. I do 1-second videos every month I put them on Facebook. And I've done some video stuff. I just want to get better at it. And I do have some experience with it, but I want to get better at it. That's the point of this. So you're probably asking yourself, what could I expect Andy to be doing? Well, something I was thinking, I have a question. I'm sorry, what? What about like conversations? What's that? Well, there's a conversation, but you're doing both parts. Oh, I'm telling you what, I am not opposed to doing those. A lot of people doing them these days. If it works with something, maybe to make a point, if it worked to do it, I wouldn't want it to be maybe my thing, but it's as an option, absolutely. I'm available. Thank you for asking. That's one. Another thing I want to experiment with or do is fielding questions. I did an online class about 9 months ago, link in the description, and I've been getting some questions from that. I also wrote a book, and link in the description, and I've been get some questions specifically about that. I get questions about a lot of stuff, and this I think would be a nice space to answer those questions. You get in there, you do a quick video, 3 or 4 minutes. Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
And it's informative and it's entertaining, and I'm out there in the world doing stuff. So I want to do that, fielding questions. Another thing I'd want to do is...
Hey, what about voiceovers?
That's a possibility, but I wouldn't want to do it...
Just for the sake of doing it?
Yes, because it feels like it could get a little bit...
Cliche, overdone.
Yes. Thank you very much. Good. That's another thing I'd like to experiment with. Something else on the list is a little bit of... I know, ukulele. Yes, sir. That's it exactly. I've been playing the ukulele for longer than I realized, looking back at some of my other videos, and I might want to play a little bit of ukulele. There's some arrangement stuff that I think I could do now that I have some proper editing software, so that's a possibility. Playing some ukulele, if you like that, check back. So basically, I just want to try things out while I'm in. There's also all sorts of things with sound I'd like to try out. I'd like to try out things with lighting. Right now, I have the blinds basically down, although you can see a little glare over here in the glass of this print. But the lighting, because I have a ring light, it's got how much yellow do I need, how much white do I want, what's the light doing outside, because right now it's changing a lot. And I want to try things with the lighting. I might want to try some stuff with interviews. Of course, I could do Zoom interviews and just record the screen that's there, but I might want to, when the pandemic is over or we can actually go out and actually talk to people, I have a really good camera in my phone, which I carry in my pocket, and I might want to utilize that in some way to do some interviews and just try my interviewing skills and see if I can just ask questions and not talk while they answer. You know, another thing I want to look at is filming indoors versus filming outdoors. Right here is this sort of controlled environment. Outdoors is less so, but it's also really pretty. And also I live in Amsterdam, which I think is the really, really, really beautiful city. And so I'd like to do some stuff outside as well. One thing I noticed when I was making this is just noticing how I organize stuff, because I had this thought in my head that I'll just sit down and do it. Turns out what I really needed was an outline, and I needed some things actually needed to be scripted out or just write them out. I didn't script, I'm not reading from a script, but they just wanted to write them out so that I would know what I was going to say. Like that Katya quote. That's not a quote at all, but I just wanted to get it out of my head onto a page so that I know what I'm going to say. But how I organize myself, I want to experiment with things like that and just see what works best for my brain. So what subjects might I be covering? Well, certainly I'm in education, so certainly education, but also training and development. There's all sorts of stuff like that that I have an opinion on, I have thoughts on, I have experience with, and I would like to bring that into the conversation and use that here. Another thing is just getting older. The idea of getting older is fascinating to me. The idea of all these people who I knew when they were way before their prime and in their prime, and now we're all getting older, and I think that's a very interesting thing to talk about. It's not brand new, it's not something other people haven't experienced, but it's something that I think would be interesting to talk about. In that, how I feel about looking at myself on camera. I used to be younger and prettier. And how do I feel about seeing myself on camera, and can I get used to that? Can I actually appreciate that? I think that is an interesting thing to think about and talk about that. I'm reasonably comfortable with myself on camera. Tailgating on getting older in a country where you weren't born. I moved here 17 years ago, and I moved here for the long haul, meaning I'm going to get old and die here. And that's interesting. That's something 99% of the people I went to high school with are not going to experience. And I think that's an interesting thing to think through. How do I feel about being in, I was going to say foreign country, but it's not really a foreign country to me anymore. It's my home. But how do I feel about that? And what are some thoughts about that? What are some other people's thoughts about that? What I don't think I'll be covering is being an American living in the Netherlands. I kind of feel like it's been either played out or that there are other people doing that better than I would. And I don't care that much about that. I kind of want to look at things from a different perspective. I don't think that's the most original thing for me to look at. So basically, there's some technology, there's a ton of technology that has come along since I was 35, since I was really younger and prettier, and I would like to use that technology. This is the youngest and prettiest I'm ever going to be, probably. But I want to use this technology and I want to learn how to use it and experiment with it. Experiment with iMovie. I've got some other packages that I bought. Some other packages that I bought that I would like to use and just experiment with. I think this will be a lot of fun for me. Now I know there's some people who've already clicked off, said, not for me. I know there's some people who got to the end of this and are thinking, not for me, I'll never come back. Totally cool. There are some people I know who are probably thinking, interesting, Andy, I'd like to come back when you're actually good at this. Totally cool. Please do come back. Bookmark it, just set yourself a reminder. Come back in 6 months. And there are some people who are going to want to see the whole process, see how things play out, see how I do things. And I would love for you to do that. Whatever. If you got to the end of this video, thanks for doing that. That means a lot to me. And I'm going to come up with a sign off eventually, but not today. I will not have my final sign off. But regardless, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, whatever you're looking at from wherever you are right now. And thank you very much for watching. And this is me signing off.